Yo, what's up guys, my name's Ethan from The Tech Life, and today I'm going to be going over the top announcements that happened yesterday at WWDC 2020 in about 10 minutes. Okay guys, so this year's WWDC was a little bit different this time. Instead of being in person on a stage, it was an online presentation with a lot more animations. It made it look a lot cooler with basically a little tour around Apple's headquarters instead of a live conference. So if you did not watch all of the WWDC, or if you did not watch any of it, I'm going to be putting the top biggest announcements from WWDC into this video in about a quarter of the time that it took there. So about 10 minutes, I'm going to put the biggest announcements that happened yesterday at WWDC. iOS 14. So Apple gave us its first look at iOS 14, which basically always looks the same, except there's some little widgets now that you can put around your home screen that take up 4 app icon space, which I think it's pretty cool. It's about time that Apple have done it. So the new widgets on iOS 14 is a really big deal, being Apple hasn't changed the iOS look and feel for a while now, except for small minor changes. So you can basically put as many widgets as you want on your home screen, being there's a whole gallery of different widgets you can look through and just change how your home screen to make it look however you want. So Apple's also adding a new app library, which basically is like an app drawer, to where it's a big gallery where you can look through all the apps in certain categories. So it's sort of like a more organized app drawer from Android. I'm gonna put a picture of what it looks like right here. Picture-in-picture is also coming in iOS 14. If you swipe away from the screen while watching a full screen video, there will be a small picture of the full screen video playing in the bottom right corner of your screen, sort of how you'd see on Android if you've ever looked at the Android screen before. Picture-in-picture from Apple isn't a super unique feature, being Android's used it for many years, but Apple is making it its own by letting you minimize the picture-in-picture screen into a small button on the side of your screen. That way you don't have to exit the video if you want to look at a whole different screen for a moment. More various emojis are coming to iOS 14. Memojis are getting a big improvement update in the next software update, being iOS 14, and if you don't know, Memoji is just the animojis that you make of your face so you can make it look however you want. Now with Memoji, you can wear face masks and have different expressions and emotions. This might seem like a small change, but it's great if you've been waiting for the opportunity to communicate solely through the use of Memoji. Apple Maps is getting a dedicated map for cyclists and electric vehicle users. So I've had to use Google Maps for a while now instead of Apple, being I ride my bike a lot and I just like to look at like Tesla tracks and what charging stations are near me, which Apple Maps has lacked on for a little while. But coming with iOS 14, Apple Maps is coming with a new cycling specific map as well as an electric vehicle map, which shows you easier routes to get where you're biking so you don't have to cross heavy busy roads with lots of traffic. And the same thing for electric vehicles, it'll take you on stops to charging stations so you don't run out of battery on your road trip. And the Soul Cycling map is also coming with a feature that tells you if you're going to need to carry your bike up or down any stairs on your trip, which is pretty cool. It's going to be getting it to NYC and San Francisco first, but hopefully we'll get it wherever you live. And like I said before, additionally, the map just adds where EV vehicles need to charge during their trip. Apple is debuting the digital car key, coming with iOS 13 and iOS 14. Apple's introduced a new way to unlock and start your car using an app called Smart Key. Well, just the BMW 5 series for now. You can register a key with your car in the wallet app of your iPhone. When you walk up to a supported car, you'll unlock it via NFC chip in your phone. Then it will start the car once your phone is connected to NFC resting on a specific pad inside the supported car. Another cool feature about the Smart Key app is unique driving profiles for different people that drive the car. So whenever your phone is in the car, it will set the settings into the car, like your seat, air conditioning, and radio, to what you had it at previously. But let's say your sister or your wife goes into the car and puts her phone on it, then it will set her driving profile to her phone. App clips are going to be added in iOS 14. Apple has debuted App Clips, which is like its version of Android Instant Apps. The gist is you won't need to finish downloading a full app to get what it offers in the app. In addition to making purchases through it with Apple Pay, seems great for somebody who doesn't download more apps than you already need. A few changes are coming into iPadOS 14, similar to iOS 14, smaller app widgets and different maps are coming into iPad, being it is still Apple software, so it's going to be pretty much similar to what you're getting on iOS 14, except more designed and fluid with iPad. Apple is introducing a new sidebar on iPad to make it easier to navigate through your apps. Apple debuted it showing working on Apple Music and a few other Apple specific apps. If you're using your iPad as a laptop replacement, the sidebar should make it easier to navigate and just make it a whole lot easier, more fluid, happier experience using your iPad as your laptop. If you haven't seen my previous video about is your iPad able to replace your MacBook as a laptop, go ahead, check it out. Put in the iCard up here or up here, I don't know which side it's on. Make sure you go check it out if you're thinking about getting an iPad. So Apple's also redesigned the search engine on the iPad. Looks a lot like Spotlight on Mac OS. It can help you find your contacts, search the web, and even search as a Launchpad-like type file explorer. Handwriting with the Apple Pencil is about to get a whole lot better in iPadOS 14. Apple debuted a new feature called Scribble on iPadOS 14, which allows you to write in any text field as a scribble. So there's going to be a white bar at the bottom of the screen where you can scribble whatever you want to write and it'll translate into text. If I can find a picture, I'll put it on the screen now, but it's just going to be a lot easier if you like to write instead of typing with the on-screen keyboard of the iPad. AirPods will soon be announced to seamlessly switch between different devices. Apple's unveiling a software running on AirPods letting them connect automatically to different devices and seamlessly switch from device to device. You will no longer be required to go into your settings on your phone and switch which devices your AirPods are connected to. So it's going to be a lot easier. So if you're playing audio on your iPad over here connected to your AirPods, it's going to play. Then you just go on your phone, which of course your AirPods have been connected to before, and you're going to hit play and they're automatically going to switch from your iPad to your iPhone, which could be good and bad depending on what they're using them for. But I think it's just going to be a lot easier because it kind of gets messed up having to go into my settings on my iPhone every time and switching what device my AirPods are connected to. The AirPods Pro are going to be getting spatial audio. If you don't know what that is, Apple is utilizing the accelerometer in the AirPods Pro to provide spatial audio that tracks your head and your device's location. Spatial audio should provide a more immersive sound experience by making you feel like you're inside of the audio mix. So basically, depending on where you're moving and how you're moving, the audio will change with your AirPods Pro. WatchOS 7's face swapping feature is going to make it a whole lot easier to easily and seamlessly switch watch faces. Have you seen a watch face that you've liked but you're not sure how to get it? Apple's making it a lot easier to swap watch faces with a new feature called face swapping. You can add a watch face to your Apple Face gallery by switching onto a developer website. Through social media, you can just scan it on your Apple Watch and you'll be able to get that watch face that you see easy and don't have to worry about searching for hours and hours getting that certain watch face. So this is a cool one. The Apple Watch will be able to track dancing and WatchOS 7. So basically, usually if you're dancing or doing something stupid at home like me, your Apple Watch isn't going to track it and put it into the My Health app. But now, if you're dancing or being stupid and messing around, you're going to be able to get that in your Health app and it'll count as calories. As well as Apple Watch OS 7 can track hand washing and other things to include in your calorie count to make it as exact as possible. Apple is getting a multiplayer support for Apple Arcade, so you're going to be able to play with friends and family that also have iPhones and iPads on the new Apple Arcade, which is going to be pretty cool, so you can just have an all-around fun time not having to play by yourself. Picture-in-picture for tvOS 14, so basically what I said before about iOS 14, the picture-in-picture, except you'll be able to do it on your Apple TV. Apple's new Mac OS Big Sur looks a whole lot like iOS. Apple debuted its new major software update for the Macs called Mac OS Big Sur. It features a big overhaul in design changes, as well as it brings more with iPad OS and iOS 14. It's been handling like this for the past few years. It's getting a lot of features from iOS 14 onto the Mac side of things, like the widgets, iMessage complications, and grouping pinned conversations on your MacBook lock screen. So it's just going to be a lot more like your iPhone experience on your MacBook, which I think is pretty cool. Apple has announced its new silicone chip for its future Mac models. Apple has been using Intel-based computers for as long as I can remember now, but making its long rumored switch to silicone has been a bit of a myth. No one knew if it was going to happen, but this year with the new WWDC 2020, Apple is announcing that they're going to be making the switch to silicone. This change is huge. It's a big change for hardware and a bigger change for software, unleashing Apple's own efforts into making components instead of Intel process, but it's also a huge shift in software. Apple is making it possible to run apps from the Intel software onto Apple's new shift in software. Apple is making it possible to run apps as well on their Macs as well as other environments such as Linux. Additionally, thanks to custom hardware for Apple, you can even run iPhone and iPad maps on your MacBook. So that's been the top 10 or 15 biggest changes in Apple's WWDC 2020 that happened yesterday, and you might be seeing this video on the 24th. I don't know when it's going to be getting uploaded, but it was a great WWDC. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and make sure you like and comment what you want to see next. I'm making a whole lot of range videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.